This is cucumber, right? Which is in the same family as the gourd family. See, so the flower turns into a fruit. I showed pictures of this last time. And this is that damage that I'm telling you about, that I had to pull my zucchini out of my backyard garden. Is you're starting to see a yellowing of the perimeter of the leaf, and then obviously it starts to turn into this. So the bacteria inside the beetle spit or saliva or digestive enzymes is causing almost a fungal type look to it. Like how you get that powdery mildew if you water the zucchini at night and you get like real warm, humid temperatures. You get like a white powder on it. So you sit there and you treat it for fungus, and it's just giving that beetle that much more time. See, this is the only new growth that you're seeing. We're into almost the end of July, and obviously this one should have been taken out too. But like, you have to inspect your product, okay? And another example right here. This is just one individual plant right there. You're prolonging the inevitable, and then at the same time you're increasing the risk of cross contamination. Another example. What do you think the fruit on this is going to produce? Healthy fruit? Record-breaking cucumber? No. Same thing here. And what's funny is you're noticing a pattern, well, at least I am, where it's like every fourth or fifth plant. That's why you got to even take meticulous records of the lot number from the seeds that you bought, because it could be the seed that's infected. When they dig up an Iceman and they pull his DNA and they do blood work on him, whatever, they find out that he had Lyme's disease, or he has the Lyme's disease bacteria. And that's a caveman like 10, 15,000 years ago. And then here's another example. I leave this door open at night, and then you're starting to see a lot more ripening. See, so the plant is actually, a tomato is supposed to, an heirloom tomato is a perennial. But because of bad breeding, well, not bad breeding, at that time we had to feed a growing nation. So a lot of these varieties were developed in the 40s and 50s because the population was growing. The baby boom generation. So you have a lot of these varieties that need to have a certain type of season. And as hot as it is in here with the poor ventilation, the humidity, the plant's starting to think it's like August. And then we had the summer solstice, where we get 12 hours light on, 12 hours light off, and now the plant's confused. But this is why I try not to do two crop. I don't just do one crop, because if this was this is one type of cucumber, you're going to have the whole thing is susceptible to disease, and you're sitting there taking time while you have beautiful watermelons, seedless heirloom watermelons that have flesh that look like almost like an acorn squash. It's like the human equivalent of having that cousin that could pass for your brother or sister, and has this real, like, you need a bread knife to cut this thing. It has like this real leathery skin, and then you open it, and it's almost like, of course, it's still pink in the center, and of course you're going to get those tan seeds. Be very wary of 100% seedless, because that's kind of like, they call it frankenfruit. And you have like this real leathery flesh, and it takes forever to break that flesh in the compost pit. Like, you literally have to shred it, cut it with water, and then just use it as a tea.